Good day, everyone. My name is Samantha Fabellion, a faculty member under the Institute of Education. Thank you, Doc Jabi, for that very relevant and useful information about adolescents in the digital age. So for my first question, earlier you have mentioned po about doom scrolling. Doom scrolling. I want to emphasize this to our students. Can you describe more or explain more about it?
Mhm. So doom scrolling is a tendency to focus on negative events that can heighten the fight flight, yung fear response, which could be parang it's excitatory kasi. So sometimes we get hooked in choosing that kind of information to look for, which then it skews the you know the bias of our brain to to look for negative things. Although sometimes if you have an anxiety problem, you might that anxiety problem might also lead you to look for information that supports the think.
Do you think, Doc Jabi, that posting online and hearing other people's thoughts about it, their comments about it, do you think it affects their self-esteem?
Mhm. It definitely does. I mean, and it's not just something that I think, but it's research is showing that um, the fear of negative expectations or the pressure to conform or to chase the same kinds of experiences or the status or um, to have what other people have, that tends to be more prevalent. There's a greater pressure for that conformity, and it's particularly a bigger pressure on female teens, which really has a lot of impact on their mental health.
What are the ways that our students or any individual can disconnect from technology in a way that they're not going to
Mm-mm.
feel anxious or
Mm-mm.
isolated?
Mm-mm. Well, I think we're not just consumers, we're also part of the culture, the culture that creates those pressures to conform in social media. So I think it's important that, again, going back to the mindfulness, um, minding our intention. So whenever I post, what's my intention? Am I sharing? Am I sharing because I want to foster a sense of connectedness and community, or am I sharing because I want to project um, a certain kind of status that I want people to see or believe of? And then it's also being mindful about the impact. What culture am I contributing to with the things that I post? So if I'm always posting about new things I have, then I'm contributing to a culture of, hey, you should also have this. And if you don't have this, you're not as cool as me. Is that the culture that we want to um, cultivate, right, in social media? As consumers, it's really being discerning um, and curating what we're following. So we need to curate that so that it's in line with what is it that helps me, what's beneficial to me. If I'm noticing that certain channels or there are certain groups that make me feel like um, there's a pull to pretend or to live up to certain expectations that don't really match who I am or what I really want in my life, then we need to step back and have the courage to unplug.
What role do educators play in helping adolescents um, navigate
Mm.
the digital age?
Yes. Ad- Adolescents are not the only one who are susceptible to the the adverse effects of technology. We are too. Sometimes we're even more distracted than them. We're prone to distractibility and you know all the unhealthy patterns. So we need to practice our mindfulness as adults to make sure that we are leading by example. And one very concrete way that we lead by example is through presence. When we're talking to them, are we giving them real attention? Do we make them feel we're present? And are we, are we able to unplug from our own distractibility so that we are putting time into developing relationships with our youth? So relationship is the deepest motivator. When we have a relationship with them, we understand them, we know better where they're coming from. We build on the emotional capital to then invite them to conversations about, how do you want to take responsibility for your life, for the choices you're making? Without presence, we're just telling them what to do. And they're not going to be receptive to that. But when we have relationships, it it flows naturally, and they would be very receptive and open to what we have to offer.
Thank you so much, Doc Javi, for answering all my questions.
You're very welcome.
This discussion and lecture is made available on our FEU's YouTube channel and on Canvas.